What's up, guys? Frugal BC today, talking some Algorand news. Got some really interesting stuff. Got a new timeline for Algorand governance, and guess what? His gov rewards might be disappearing soon. Para stepping up anti-spam security measures. We're gonna talk about the difference between Algorand and Ethereum tokens. I think that's interesting, and we're gonna look at the A200 token launch and just a general look at whether you should accept airdrops or not. All that on today's Frugal BC. By the way, guys, if you like this kind of stuff, hit the like and subscribe button. As we always say, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. Whole point of the channel is to bring you the truth in crypto, and are brought to you by non-fungible domains. Guys, if you want to get rid of that, all those confusing letters and numbers and just have a real simple to remember .algo address, non-fungible domains is the way to do it. They have vaults and segments, all kinds of features, so check out the description below. And we're brought to you by Fractal Monsters, a play-to-earn game on the Algorand blockchain. You can play it for free. You can get an NFT and enjoy all the features. Kind of a cross between Pokemon and Tamagotchi with a little bit of Smash Brothers thrown in. Link for that in the description, as with non-fungible domains. And let's get to the show. So today I want to talk about governance timeline being released. And so it has some really important points, not just on the governance itself, but also on what the foundation plans to do with consensus. So let's take a look at this. All right, so this is a post by the Algorand Foundation, Algorand Governance 2024 timeline. And I think this is interesting to look at. So they kind of list governance and XGov and pretty standard stuff, 30 million algo and governance rewards and 27.5. And these have been going down over time. That makes sense. On XGov, we have session 3 in quarter 1, session 4 in quarter 2. And of course, we are coming on quarter 2 right now. So that's something to keep in mind there, that we're already looking at this one, had that one. I got to tell you, I think if you watch this channel long enough, you know that I'm just not a fan of Algorand governance. I don't think it works very well. I think it's kind of a waste of time for most people. I think most people would rather just have like standard staking, which is kind of what we're getting. So let's look at quarter 3, because this is where it gets interesting. It's 32 million algo in consensus rewards is set to be dispersed, or if consensus incentivization is delayed, 25 million algo and governance rewards. So you notice that says or. Now that means that this is where they're assuming the switch is going to happen in quarter 3. I think that's very interesting. I like the idea of consensus rewards much better than governance. I just don't think it works well. You know, the idea of it is good, I guess, but it's so easy to get kicked out, especially on the DeFi part. Like the whole point of whole point of adding DeFi is that you could participate in DeFi and still participate in governance. But if you make one little change to your pool, even if you're adding to it, not subtracting from it, it still screws it up. So I was kicked out of governance for that reason. From what I can tell, I didn't touch my pools other than to add to them when I collected rewards. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm really a big fan of consensus incentivization. I think that probably should have happened a long time ago. And the reason they're doing that is, by the way, is because not enough people were running nodes, because, well, it's energy intensive. You have to run a node on your computer. You have to have the wherewithal to set it up, and then the computing power to do it. And I think a lot of people just aren't going to do that for free. You know, some people did, but people respond to incentives. So I'm glad they're incentivizing it. It's interesting that it's going to be more. So it's not the same amount. It's 32 million instead of 25 million for government rewards. And then the same thing on quarter 4. It's going to be 27 million in algo, or only 22.5 million. So even if consensus incentivization, node incentivization doesn't happen, you know, we're still seeing that number drop quite low for governance. And here they kind of talk about it. It says Algorand Foundation prioritizes decentralization and security, is therefore redirecting funding from the governance rewards programs to directly incentivize consensus participation. And by the way, this is the kind of stuff that would actually, these are the kind of decisions that I think would actually be something for governance to decide. Instead, you just get like these really lame questions that it's like, ooh, do you want us to give us 10 million to DeFi rewards or 7.5? Nobody cares. There was like 6 or 8 questions or something like that, and it was all like really boring stuff. But yeah, they're targeting quarter 3, like I said, and so then you don't get governance and DeFi incentives, which I think is just fine. I'm really happy about this change. I think it should have happened a while ago. And here's the other efforts to drive decentralization. Consensus incentivization is a seamless part of the protocol, rewarding participation algorithmically and automatically. I like that better. Grant and rewards programs encompassing builder grants and targeted DeFi and NFT rewards are crafted by builders and the community, and they're then administered on a decentralized basis via the Xcode program. I don't really love Xcode either. I think there are too many projects on there. I think personally it should be solely for builders building something that's needed on Algorand, and it shouldn't be like all these outside uses. There was a lot of stuff on there I just didn't agree with. So that's governance, but I'm glad quarter 3 is going to be great. I really look forward to census incentivization. I think that's going to be a big difference. Also, there's one thing they didn't talk about, but John Woods talked about before, is there will probably be pools. So you'll be able to participate in pools. You won't have to just run a node yourself. So we'll keep an eye out for that. We'll update you on that. We'll look into that ourselves and try it out. That's what we do here. We try things out and let you know how it goes. So the next one is from Para Wallet. They are updating their security and spam functions. So I want to take a look at this. I think this is these things that are important to cover. So let's take a look here, see what we got. This is from Para.algo Wallet on Twitter. We're stepping out our security measures in response to recent scam activities on Algorand. I wonder which ones they're talking about. Thanks to anti-spam APIs from our partner ChainTrail, we're happy to announce important new features we're launching today to enhance our safety, your safety. Blocking notifications from accounts flagged by ChainTrail's API, masking suspicious URLs on Para Explorer, disabling Para Connect for all identified malicious sites. More security enhancements to follow soon. Stay safe, Algo fam. I wonder if they put if anyone, I think that's a great thing, by the way. I just want to see kind of curious which ones they're talking about. But good for ChainTrail. I like what they're doing over there. They got some nice data. We've looked at them before, like on stream. Yeah, they're not really, nobody's really saying anything in the comments, and there's not much to say beyond that. I just think that's a good thing. Good on Para. Great news on their behalf, and keep doing it. And good for ChainTrail too. Glad to see that. I think they're doing good work over there. One thing I think is kind of interesting is the ASAs and how they work on Algorand, and I've come to learn they're actually a little bit different than Ethereum. So this is pretty interesting. Let's look at this breakdown of how tokens on Algorand versus Ethereum work. Okay, this is from Algorand developers, which is they got a pretty good YouTube channel going on. But tokens are critical in a blockchain's ecosystem. While many chains follow certain standards, they ultimately handle token types differently. Let's explore token types on Ethereum and Algorand. Ethereum network. On Ethereum, all tokens are represented by a smart contract. These smart contracts follow certain standards to define the fungible or non-fungible token on Ethereum. Fungible tokens follow either ERC20 or ERC1155. I hate when people do threads like this. Non-fungible tokens follow the ERC721 or ERC1155 standard. Fungible tokens on Algorand. On Algorand, all tokens are called ASAs, which stands for Algorand Standard Assets. Unlike Ethereum, ASAs are not smart contracts. All you need to do is send a simple asset creation transaction to create an ASA. By the way, there's literally a form to create an ASA, there's a form with 4 fields. You fill those out and you basically create an ASA. It's literally that simple. And then if you want it to have liquidity, all you have to do is start a pool on one of the dexes, and you're good to go. You've got an ASA with. I mean, you can kind of make yourself a millionaire on paper. Obviously, you'll have trouble cashing it out because there's no liquidity, but it is there. So fungible tokens on Algorand follow the ARC3 standard, where ARC stands for Algorand Request for Comments. ARC is the Algorand version of ERC and provides standards that people can follow. Non-fungible tokens on Algorand follow the ARC3, ARC19, and ARC69 standard. ARC19 and 69 allow the mutability of digital media associated with NFTs. So depending on your use case, you can follow either of these standards. Can I just take a break and say I hate when people do threads like this? If you're going to do a thread and not just one long post, and I think you should actually just do one long post for stuff like this, then make sure they all fit in one space. Otherwise, you're just like constantly having to, it's just annoying. It's just a minor thing. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's just annoying. All ASAs are represented by unique IDs similar to Algorand smart contracts. This is because ASAs are not smart contracts like tokens on Ethereum. Also, to receive an ASA in your account, the account must opt into the ASA. And this is a point of contention in the Algorand community. Some people think that the opt-ins actually should be that it shouldn't be that way, because it's kind of a pain. If you want to get a token, you have to make sure you go opt into the asset, and there's no real easy way to do it. You have to kind of find a way to copy and paste the ID if you have it, and then copy and paste it into the ad asset. But it also, as they say, helps prevent the spamming of random tokens. So yeah, John Wood said the opt-in should be opt-in itself. Honestly, I'll say that I actually like the opt-in feature, because I don't want to get a bunch of crap loaded in my wallet. So I think overall I like that. Maybe there's a way where better would be if like they sent out airdrops and then you could say, do I want this or not? You know, it's a little thing would come up and say, hey, this person's trying to send you an airdrop. Do you want this airdrop? And you could look it up. Oh yeah, that sounds legit. Cool. Let's go for it, or not. I think that might be a better way to handle it. But yeah, that's actually going to tie into our final topic today, because I want to talk about the A200 token, yet another token on the Algorand blockchain. We have so many meme tokens and tokens for whatever reason, and this is one more, but it's got me thinking about like whether you should accept airdrops. So I decided to like go for this one. I don't know if I got it yet. I haven't checked my wallet in a little while, but I thought I'd see it just to see what it is, and I put my frugalbc.algo address on there to see what happens. I asked the community, you know, what are the downsides of airdrops? So let's see what that community had to say. So I didn't look at this beforehand. I only got one response to this. It was from MacGyver7th. He said taxes. Like, yeah, maybe, but I gotta tell you, okay, I don't want to say too much about taxes, but generally speaking, I just kind of use Coinbase as my clearinghouse, and whatever Coinbase says I've earned, that's what I take profits, because otherwise I just consider it unearned, unrealized gains. But I'm not telling anybody else to do that. I'm probably not doing it quite correctly, but it is what it is. I think, let's see the A200. What are people saying about it? This comes from Flamborghini. Says, we need to have a serious chat about A200, EVIS, and decentralization. I honestly don't think this person is a scammer. Please take free A200 tokens and have fun with it, but don't for a second get confused. This isn't a decentralized token. Do you agree or disagree? I mean, I guess. Is anything bad going to happen? I mean, if it's free. And this was what I was thinking. This guy's the CEO at Andreotti Furniture. So that's really interesting to me. And he appears to be an older fellow. And, you know, I say that as someone who's a little on the older side myself. A single person is handpicking people and airdropping token to them, then we can't really talk about decentralization. Sure. And apparently, supposedly holding 90% of the supply. I agree that uncirculating supply is what causes it to be centralized. However, I trust AVIS to do that supply what should be done, which is released slowly over time as the market cap and liquidity are able to sustain. I assume he said highly doubt a rogue scenario though whatsoever. Kind of fits Algorand though, right? Foundation holding most of the supply. As more tokens go into circulation, we see the price show that increase in circulating supply. I've already seen people saying it'll hit $2. Yeah, I don't know. If you're getting it for free, I guess it's fine, but you know, my general view is to, if you get an ASA for free, fine, take it. Just don't expect much out of it. And I absolutely don't think people should invest in ASAs. I think for every one that will do well, you'll probably lose your shirt on 20 of them. You know, mostly when you look at the charts of these, and I've looked at the charts for many of them, and they just don't do well. So they tend to, you know, they have a little pump and then they crash like crazy, and then maybe they go up a little bit. They all have this big crash that happens, like or a good portion of them. So I'm not a big ASA guy. I generally think you should stick with primary tokens, but that's my opinion. You can do what you want. But, you know, people have asked me to break down what ASAs I think people should invest in. I'm like, I don't. I just don't. Flat out, full stop. Because there's plenty of money to be made in like regular crypto coins. So I don't know why you'd mess around with these super volatile and unpredictable coins unless you just want to have fun, and that's fine. Fun is always fine. Or if it's something you're earning for a game, you know, fine. Like I said, if you get them for free or through a game or something, it's fine. But just don't think you're going to get rich off of these. Anyway, I'm Frugal BC. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the future.